So some of the seeds that we're going to be planting right now and rethinking our businesses for when we move out of this recovery, all we're doing is planting seeds. We're not going to know what's going to grow. We're going to have to sit and be patient.
Hi, I'm Karin Hurt, and I'm here with our next edition of Asking for a Friend. And this one I know is on everyone's mind. How during this time of crisis do I show up resilient for myself as a leader? And also, how do I cultivate resiliency in my team? And I knew exactly who to call, my friend Eileen McDargh, who I know through the National Speakers Association, but she has written a book called Resiliency GPS, and she is the CEO, the Chief Energy Officer of the Resiliency Group. So Eileen, thanks so much for taking a few minutes. I know you got up at 3:30 in the morning to do some work in Dubai, so thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
So, Eileen, what would you say, first of all, for leaders who are really wrestling with resiliency for themselves?
Okay, so let me first define resiliency. Resiliency is not what the dictionary says, not for human beings. It's not about bouncing back. So get that out of your head. No human being goes back. It's not going to go back. It's fine if you're a piece of steel or a willow tree that bends and comes back. Our job in cultivating, and thank you, Karin, for using that word, in cultivating resilience is to grow through challenge or opportunity. So we end up wiser, better, smarter on the other side. So it's all about growth. Now, when I look at what does a leader do, first off, you can't lead others if you're not leading yourself. You are the model they will look at. And if you're sitting there freaking out, they're going to sit there freaking out. So there's two things that I think leaders need to do. One is leaders need to be transparent and honest. Transparent says, these are really hard times right now. I'd like to tell you I have 45 answers to this. I don't. What I do believe is that together we can get through this, but it's going to take some work. And then for myself as a leader, what is it that I do for self-care when I am in the middle of this? Number one is create a routine for yourself. You've got to, and by routine, because you're out of the routine, you're not in it right now. For me, a routine is meditation, coffee, exercise, which is really, really important, and then into the day, into a place that I've created for myself to work. Give yourself no more than 3 goals that you want to achieve. Stop running everything up the flagpole. Just 3 things. And know that the only place of power that you have is what you're doing right here today. I cannot influence 6 months from now. What is it that I can do today? And that at 5 or 6 o'clock, this is really important too, you turn off the computer and you stop, because it is time for you to recharge. If you demand of the rest of your team that they stay online the whole time, you're frying them. And that's not the way to be resilient. That's not the way to grow, because ultimately it's about energy management.
That is so wise. It's interesting that you say that about just pick a couple of things because I've been finding that for our business too, because there are so many things going on and like, okay, which are the couple of strategic objectives and how am I going to push on those and let some of this other stuff fall away, because you just can't do everything right now. That's really good advice.
And here's the other thing I think is important for leaders to do, and it's this honesty too. So if you're not an authentic, transparent leader, this is not going to work, because people are going to go, yeah, right. You didn't do that before. So it is to say, we're in this together. And by the way, I think this is one of the good things about Zoom. You're in my house with me, Karin. I can't hide behind plaques and a name on the door. This is who I am. If we could see a little bit better, you'd see my grandkids over there. You'd see the books that I'm reading. You'd see a fairy flying from the corner. And so that we are in this together. And I want to say to you, my team, thanks for hanging in there. And I expect ideas and insights from you, because as we are self-quarantined and you start thinking about the work that we do individually, you're going to find some stuff that we need to get rid of and throw out, because this is a great time to reinvent what we do.
Yeah. I so agree with you there. So what do you do if you are checking in with members of your team and you are starting to see that they are really burning out, they're exhausted? How do you support them during that time?
I think there's one word: stop. I'm not going to set that deadline. There's two kinds of time, Karin. And I actually made just a little video about this. One is, and both are Greek words, Chronos and Kairos. Chronos is chronological time. It's your watch. And what happens is we give people assignments and they think it has to be done by this time. And so they work overtime. What you want to give them are 1, 2, no more than 3 things if you want that accomplished. And what's the Chronos realistically? And what's Kairos? Kairos is the Greek word that means it happens in its own time frame. So some of the seeds that we're going to be planting right now and rethinking our businesses for when we move out of this recovery, all we're doing is planting seeds. We're not going to know what's going to grow. We're going to have to sit and be patient, which is not my strong suit.
Me either.
And nurture that. It is it's amazing. I took my video camera out today. I have 1, 2, 3, 6 amaryllis lilies that all of a sudden have bloomed. Now, I get an amaryllis lily once a year at Christmas from my brother. It's in a pot, you water it, and what do you know? You get this wonderful blossom that lasts a long time. And then you cut the darn thing up and you plant it in the ground, and that's the last you see of it. So I've got these amaryllis. I've never seen anything more. And all of a sudden, last week, all of them bloomed. It was their time.
Oh.
I couldn't force that bloom. Some of them were 6 years old. One of them is only a year old, but they all bloomed. And so I think that's a lesson for us as leaders, is that we can't force stuff. We also have to allow things to bloom in its own time.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Eileen, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure.